Today we will discuss DMV Theories Part 3. In this episode we will discuss the reason Bugg and Reek was killed, and the war between Wingate and 3rd Street. Recently I would do a video on Wingate, and an alias account would message me saying that Wingate is cap and everybody knew that Bugg and Reek were the ones who spanked Moo Moo on Livingston Road. Moo Moo aka Rashid Curtin is a man who was killed in Southeast a day after Whitez was killed on 4th Street. And as we all know in the video I did on the Whitez story, Whitez killer was from Wingate, and killed Whitez because Whitez shot at him while he was with his kids. He would then kill Whitez on 4th Street. Whitez killer would get locked up, but Fox 5 gang would allegedly get back for Whitez very quickly and catch 2 hats in a week. One of these hats would be Brody from Paradise, after Fox 5 would get his baby mother to set him up to be killed by telling him to go outside to get a charger only for Fox 5 to be waiting to kill him. And the other hat is allegedly Moo Moo, who was killed a day after Whitez, and Moo Moo was allegedly killed by Money, Reek, and Bugg. Police in DC are investigating a pair of shootings that happened about 45 minutes apart in the early hours of Thursday morning. Metropolitan Police Department officers responded to the 4300 block of Livingston Road Southeast around 12:50 a.m. after receiving a 911 call reporting a shooting in the area. When police arrived, they found a man with a gunshot wound to the upper torso. He was taken to a local hospital for treatment. Police said the man has since died from his injuries, and detectives are investigating the shooting as a homicide. Police have identified the man as 26-year-old Rashid Curtin, of no fixed address. Lieutenant McCall Tyler, watch commander for MPD's 7th District, said police do not have any information about a possible suspect or suspects in this case. The circumstances surrounding the shooting are still under investigation. About 45 minutes later, Lieutenant Tyler said officers in the 7th District received a report of the sound of gunshots from ShotSpotter in the 3000 block of Martin Luther King Jr. Avenue, near Parkland Place Southeast. Tyler said a man arrived at a hospital with a gunshot wound to the upper torso a short time later. He was transported to another hospital for treatment of his injuries. These 2 shootings capped a violent day in DC, in which a total of 6 people were shot, 3 of them fatally, within a few miles of each other over the course of about 12 hours. Police say there's no evidence any of the shootings were connected, but said the weapons used included an AK-47 assault rifle and an M4, the preferred weapons on the battlefield of Iraq and Afghanistan. Around 10:30 p.m. Wednesday night, police were called to the 4300 block of 4th Street, where responding officers found a woman and 2 men shot. Police say the woman and one of the men were awake and breathing when officers found them. A third victim, a man, was pronounced dead on the scene. Later Thursday, police said the second male victim died from his injuries at the hospital. Police have identified the 2 men killed in the triple shooting as 19-year-old Ronald Brown and 41-year-old Tijuan Wilson.
The crime in D.C. is getting out of control, and it feels like you and I are talking about shootings every night. So let's zero in on what has happened in Southeast since yesterday. Several shootings, 6 people shot, including a pregnant woman. She survived, but 3 others did not. Mayor Muriel Bowser got a question about this from a community member earlier, but her answer about fighting crime wasn't too specific.
Well, we are very focused, as you know, on making sure that we have a 2-pronged approach, or really a full spectrum approach that's focused on having the police officers that we need to be on patrol, but also engaging people who we know are likely to be involved in crime in more positive activities.
So that was about process, not people. But what about our neighbors who live with gun violence, in some cases every day? We asked Colby Satterfield to amplify their voices. And Colby, you spoke with a lot of people near that area where the violence was centered last night. What did you hear?
Leslie, I spoke with more than 24 people in the Southeast community where 6 people were shot in the last 24 hours. A lot of people tell me they are numb to this violence. Others have reached a point where the fear of gun violence is consuming them. There is a clear consensus among everyone I spoke to. Something more needs to be done.
You got people scared to come out their own house.
This man has lived in D.C. all his 42 years, and like everyone I spoke to tonight, he does not want to share his name or show his face, but was willing to share how gun violence is permeating his family and community's lives.
And as you can see, no kids outside. No kids. Why? Drive-by shooting. You got to worry about that. Don't nobody want their kids out here. I know I don't.
A lot of other people are feeling that way too.
It's the middle of summer. Normally you see kids out here up and down the street, water balloon fights, cookouts. You don't have none of that.
After another night of violence with 6 people shot and 3 of our neighbors killed in the span of hours.
It's sad. It's sad. You see it on the news, and then you be like, God, that was a 15-year-old. He ain't even get a chance to live their life. Why? Because an act of simple violence. It's sad.
He's right, it is sad. And Colby, I'm struck by just nothing. There's no one outside, no kids, no activity. You spoke to a lot of people tonight, and you talked about people not wanting to show their face. And I think we have a general sense why, but what did they tell you?
Because they're fearful to do so. Some neighbors telling me people would recognize them, while others say they wanted to make sure no one in the community would think that they were in any way involved with this violence.
You know, you had a lot of conversations tonight. I'm wondering if anybody shared solutions. What do they think would make our city, their neighborhood safer?
A lot of people I talked to had a lot of ideas, and most of them different. Some people talking about putting more police in the community, while others talked about programs to get kids and teenagers involved and engaged. The man we heard from just a few moments ago suggested building a trade center for the youth in the heart of the Southeast community so young people can pursue their passions, whether it be art or rapping or working on cars, a place for them to keep their minds busy and away from the streets.
They've got a lot to do, and they've got a lot of things to think about as the city and all of us in the community figure out how to end this violence. Colby, thank you.
After this money, Reek would continue his rap career, and in his songs he speaks a lot about how someone tried to rob him and his men, and he had to leave a nigga croaking. Details on the killing of Moo have not come out, but do you think maybe he tried to rob Reek and his men so they killed him? Moo and Whitez killer were also both Wingate affiliates.
Oh, baby. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Yeah. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. One thing I know for sure that I'ma get some paper. Get that cash, nigga. Fuck that bitch. You know she gonna see you later. I'm chasing this cash. I can't fuck with a hater. I'm waking up early. I'm chasing this paper. He tried to rob us. Got hit with a laser. I'm catching them czars. You know I got flames. I'm on the fucking hill, bitch. Lonely rap. Fox 5. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. I'm a young nigga. I'm chasing them dealers. Try kiss me a hit his ass in his fitted. I'm swerving in blows. Can't catch me at lemon. Try to score me a bucket. I thought I was pimping. My niggas they ballin'. These niggas on bitches. Up off the hip, you can see the precision. Let's go. Let's go. Tie up your goose, nigga. We gon' fish. I spot him. I got him. I knock off his biscuit. I'm a young nigga. Put him in the motion. When the lot nigga know that I'm toting. Try to rob us. I'ma leave your ass croaking. My wife, he say he try to turn up and bend. Shoot at the same time. We look like twins. Call that man bus boys. He left his